record button. Some weeks I do forget to hit the record button, and I have to download the video off the bloody Twitch stream. It's a pain in the ass. But I've actually remembered to hit it this week. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello and welcome to 360 Gamingcast episode 58. This is being recorded on the 9th of February 2021. It will be available on Wednesday, the 10th of February, which incidentally is my birthday. So I expect lots of nice presents and lots of new Patreon subscribers for my birthday present. How's that? Anyway, joining me today is...
the resident Chivo whore, pretty boy Peebs.
And do you want to build a snowman? It's Sensei Switch.
Whee! How's it going?
Cold.
Spiffing.
Spiffing good show, old bean. Peebs, you seem to have got a little bit more snow than I did. I saw your snowman. You sent me a picture of a snowman.
Yeah, we've had a lot of snow here. It's because it's beast from the east, and I think it's mainly just the eastern sort of counties that have been getting it. Although I think Scotland's got quite a bit, and Yorkshire. But yeah, we've had quite a bit around here. And I had a hairy moment at work yesterday when I was driving around Mansfield up in Nottinghamshire, and I drove up a hill, and the lorry started skidding and sliding about. My back end was going. I was like, oh my God, I've just, when you just lost complete control and you can't do nothing. Yeah. So luckily it stopped because there's parked cars either side as well. I thought, oh dear, I'm going to write some people's cars off here. But managed to sort of stop it, and it was stationary. I got out and was like, right, what am I going to do here? And then just thought, right, I'm just going to have to reverse it slowly back down because there's no way I was getting up. So I just managed to reverse it slowly down. So no accidents, touch wood, and then that was it. I was like, right,
oh, mate,
I don't really want to be driving around much more in this. So did what I had to do and got back. But,
wow.
And then in the afternoon, I had to drive to Milton Keynes, and there was no snow there at all. So it's weird.
Yeah.
Down here we had like a brief flurry that just pretty much settled on grass areas, not the pavements. All the bits that were hitting the pavements melted, and then obviously overnight it froze, and then the snow started laying on top. So it's almost like that really fine light snow, but with like a sheet of ice underneath it.
That's kind of like what we had as well, to be honest. Yeah, so no more falling over in the snow for me.
No, I wouldn't. When you're older, you actually like break bones and shatter hips.
Well,
and stuff.
I don't know if I updated on the story about my ankle or not. I can't remember.
Yeah, with the trampoline.
Yeah, so I went and got it X-rayed, and it's fractured. So they reckon what happened was, when I fell over, it pulled my tendons, and the tendons had pulled a little bit of bone. Really weird.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay. So they said it'll take about 6 weeks to heal. So I'm having to wear this ankle thing. I'm just having to keep it up.
I had a full-on like plaster almost up to my knee when I fractured a bone in my foot.
Oh wow! Wow.
This is going back like 25 years at least, probably.
Mine's obviously not as bad as what you got. Excuse me. I have to keep muting myself with my bloody chest. Yeah, so that's what I'd say. We're doing a midweek show this week. Sunday we'll be doing a regular show again. I just wanted to get a show out this week for everybody. As I say, I'm starting to feel a little bit better now, which is nice. Which is all good. So one thing, we've got a couple of things to celebrate this week actually. So tomorrow, as I say, is my B-Day, which is awesome. Well, it's not so awesome getting another year older. But it's also the 13-year anniversary of 360 Gamercast as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 13 years. I know we've cancelled it a few times and changed the names and all that bollocks, but yeah, 13 years. Mental.
It's a long old time. One old time.
Yeah, man. So, just thinking. So I was talking about this because I had a party chat the other day with Bin Man and Carson. I hadn't spoke to in donkey's years, and we were reminiscing about our Eurogamer exploits and Peebs' ex-misses and going mental and stuff, and about the Easy Hotel. Yeah, and so it's just quite funny to chat to them again and talking about Voodoo. You know, he got so pissed he just got the train back to Liverpool.
Yeah, he disappeared,
without telling
didn't he?
everyone, and we were all looking for him, and we were all really worried. And then obviously Sly, he was like about 12 or something, 11 or 12 when he started listening, and now he's living on his own and got a job and all sorts of stuff. So
mad, isn't it?
you know, people's lives have really changed since the show's begun. You know, it's crazy.
Well, you've got 2 kids now.
Yeah, and I can hear one of them screaming at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just quite funny just to chat to them again. Just off chance, I saw them on Xbox, and I fancied some COD. Peebs had gone to bed, being the lightweight he is, so I joined them. And then Colin joined us as well. It was good fun.
Yeah, well, cool. I don't game so much in the evenings. It's more in the day for me, because then I always put TV on in the evenings, watch either football or I'll watch something with the missus. Watching Black Sails now, which is really good.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
Season 1 of that was great.
Yeah, it's all about pirates.
Army hearties.
So, but it's like Pirates of the Caribbean for adults, because it's got sex, tits, and violence. And
sounds right up my alley, mate.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, my gaming times and habits have changed, obviously. I mean, I used to game a lot in the day. But obviously, with 2 little kids, that's nigh on impossible now. I'll try and get a little bit in, but gaming online is impossible. So, my gaming times in the evenings now if I want to play online, and it's just a little bit annoying. Our times don't really match up, do they? Because you're obviously doing other stuff, and I'm like, I want to game, and no one's ever online on the evenings anymore. We've all got old and watching TV instead of gaming. It's crazy. So I need some more people to game with in the evening. So if anyone's up for some gaming in the evening, let me know. Give me a shout. Plenty of games to play. So it's all good. So anyway, before we get into the news, I just want to say that to make myself feel a little bit better as well, I've been playing quite a lot of Xbox the last couple of weeks because of my foot, and I've needed to sit on the sofa. So because I had this illness and I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself, I've ordered myself a Series X.
Right,
probably
so
no one is. I don't think anyone's surprised by that, but yeah, finally ordered one.
You've only been spending the last year telling everyone how you weren't getting it, and I'm PC, I don't need an Xbox. superior game console.
Yes.
So,
well, I came to a couple of things.
We all knew it'd happen.
Well, one, I'm obviously an Xbox fanboy anyway. Obviously, I love my PC. I think it's great, but because I've been gaming a lot on the sofa recently, and there's still a lot of games that aren't cross-play, like I've been enjoying playing some Monster Hunter with Dan and other members of the community. And I want to get into some other games that are on the Xbox. And the other thing is Game Pass is such good value. And if you have Ultimate, it's really good value for money if you have both an Xbox and a PC, because the Game Pass games, a lot of the games are the same between the PC and the console, but a lot of the games are also specifically for those systems as well. You know, as an example off the top of my head is Nier Automata. That's only on the Xbox Game Pass, not on PC Game Pass. So on that aspect, I thought, well, 450 quid, and obviously I've already got Game Pass Ultimate anyway. That's actually not that bad, considering you can still sell. I can sell my One X for 200 still on Facebook Marketplace.
Nice.
That seems to be the going rate on there and eBay. So that's 250 I got to find, and then that's me. I got a little bit of birthday money, so that's sorted.
Does that Game Pass cover you for both then, PC and
for
the one price?
So you got a few options, peeps. You can get Game Pass which is just the Xbox version. You can get Game Pass PC, or if you get Game Pass Ultimate, that gives you Gold, PC, Xbox, and the game streaming service as well, xCloud. So it gives you everything.
All right.
Yeah, so I actually think that Game Pass Ultimate's really good value for money, especially if you can find some cheap deals for a few months at a time on some, say, when CD Keys or Amazon are doing a sale or whatever, So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good value, really, really good, especially on Xbox with it. You get EA Play as well, right? So you got all the EA games, which is really, really good. That's going to be coming to PC at some point, but there's no firm date on that. So again, it's just really good value for money. So I thought, well, I love my Xbox, I love my PC. Why not? If I want to sit on the sofa, get the new Xbox and just enjoy some gaming on the sofa. So it's all good.
Well, yeah. Well, like obviously we're in a chat, aren't we, on WhatsApp and what?
Yeah.
And we've spent all week trying to get a bloody Xbox because we've signed up to this. Was it Hot Stock, which is an app which everyone's saying is the best way to get one at the minute. So it gives you alert as soon as they become online on whether it be Currys, Argos, whoever.
Yeah.
So we've had that. So it was it last Friday?
Friday.
It was Friday. It was pinging all morning, weren't it?
Yeah.
In stock here, in stock there. But the time you get there, they're all gone. Or the website will allow you put it. I had a couple where it'd let you put it in the basket, but then when you went to the basket, it was nothing in there.
Yeah.
So it's still a nightmare trying to get one. Really
Smith's
frustrating.
was an odd one because they only had it available first time only on that monthly payment thing. And then I got declined on that anyway. And then they had them in stock, and I added one to my basket, and then it vanished. And then Shop 2 had bajillions of alerts on Friday, and I managed to order one, but it's on back order, so it could take up to 4 weeks. But you had to pay for it up front, so I've already paid for the fucking thing. I just got to wait like a month for it to turn up. Could even be longer.
I'm not sure whether to do that or not, but it's frustrating with the ultimate, what do they call the access, all access one, because they seem to have them in stock some places where, well, if they've got them in stock, surely it should allow you to buy them standalone as well then. But they're obviously trying to get you into the all access, which I didn't really want to do because I'm quite happy doing it the way I do it. But I thought, well, to get one, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I've used Klarna. I've got good credit. Declined.
Yeah.
Well, now whether that's to do with the credit or whether it's to do with they actually didn't have any, and it's just taking you through the motions and then just basically decline it, which it shouldn't be allowed to do if that's the case, because I think that can go against you on your credit score. So the missus said, "I'll do it," because she's got excellent credit. It never gets turned down for nothing.
Yeah.
She got declined.
That's
So
nuts,
I don't know whether they're just being uber strict or whether there's a fault or whether they just didn't have them or what. It's I just think it's been a complete shit show, if you ask me. I know apparently Phil Spencer and Major Nelson on the podcast said they're building them as fast as they can to try and they know there's a big shortage, but I just think it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and the problem is because all the shops are closed, it's not like you can even take a chance and nip down Game or PC World or whatever, just see if they've got one just laying around or whatever, even.
Yeah.
Or anywhere really. It's just everywhere's online. You got all these scalpers running bots, so they're grabbing up everything anyway. So it's just making it very, very difficult for people. And I know obviously PlayStation 5s are even more difficult to get hold of as well at the moment. But I've seen some people have managed to grab some this past week.
Well, yeah, because I mean I do plan on getting a PS5, but obviously. Because I'm a Chivo whore. Obviously, my Xbox priority. But I was even coming to the point where if a PlayStation becomes available and I can get one of them before, then I will do, just so that I've got one of the new consoles. But yeah, even there, struggling to get hold of one of them now. The whole thing,
it's a bloody nightmare.
But obviously, it's a factor of things. Like you say, the shops are shut. Obviously, pandemics, so perhaps more people are buying them than they normally would, because obviously people want things to do at home because they can't go out. And also I've heard like these scalpers and that are actually hacking websites that they go down so that they can buy them all before anyone else can get on them. You know, it's
bollocks, isn't it?
it's quite an operation they got going.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, people are making a lot of money off it. That's why. I mean, the only saving grace is that pretty much every single game on the Xbox you can play with your current system anyway, apart from the medium, which is the first
I know.
actual.
I know, like Collie said, hasn't he? It's not a massive leap. It doesn't really feel much different. It's a little bit faster, and obviously some of the games. I mean, he's only playing Warzone, so and Cyberpunk. I think he's been playing a bit of, but he's saying that's still a bit glitchy. So yeah, I mean, it's not the be all and end all. Like I say, I can still play all the games. I think the only one exclusive they've got at the minute is that medium game.
Yeah.
I think that's about it, and that's perked my interest, that game. So I definitely want one, but I think I can't wait. But it's just annoying that I've got the money, ready to go, and normally I haven't got the money, so it wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I actually wonder if certain sites are doing that pay up front thing now, and then they're just shipping them to people when they come in stock to stop all the scalping and that. So then they don't really need to advertise when they got any in stock, because obviously as soon as stuff comes in, it's already going out to customers that have already sort of like pre-purchased.
Yeah.
I just I know Shop 2 are quite a well-to-do, good reputation. I just don't like paying up front and not having anything, and then just worrying that it could be months and months before they get them, and you've paid it. That's all I worry about. Otherwise, I'm tempted to do it.
So I had the money in the bank. I still have the money in the bank, right? But what I've done for the Shop 2 pay up front, I actually did it on PayPal credit. But I did it on where you pay it in 4 payments at 0% interest. So I'm not actually, paying it all out. Even though the money's there, I just thought, I'll just do it on PayPal. Just like that. Just to make
PayPal will allow you to do that, do they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You get loads of different options, yeah.
Oh, right. So, I might look at that then.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I did, because I thought, well, I don't actually have to do the first payment till next month anyway, and that's hopefully when the Xbox will turn up. So, I'll just leave the money sitting in the account, and then it will just pop out every month anyway. So it's not really any difference. So
it's not a bad way,
and plus, also when you pay on PayPal, you get that extra layer of protection, right? So say if Shop 2 went under and you didn't get your machine, you'd get your full refund, right? Whereas if you pay out your bank, it can be more of a pain in the arse. So yeah. Right, shall I do the news?
Do the news.
Right, there's been a little bit of news this week. Big news that came out today actually is that CD Projekt Red has been hacked. Funnily enough.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to find the it's here. So what happened was they put out a thing saying that someone got access to their internal network, collected data, blah blah blah. But they actually put a screenshot of the note that the hacker left, and it said, and the hacker said, "This is really funny. You have been epically pwned. We have dumped full copies of the source code from your Perforce server for Cyberpunk, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. We have also dumped all your documents relating to accounting, admin, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. Also, we have encrypted all of your servers, but we understand that you can most likely recover these from backups. If we will not come to an agreement, then your source code will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter, and even more. It will go down the shitter even more, and people will see how shitty your company functions. Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower. You have 48 hours. Yeah, so that's pretty mental, really. So I don't think any personal information from no personal information from gamers was on those servers. Maybe some personal information about some of the employees, though. So it's quite interesting. that's happened. So that was the big news from today. Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think from when I read the sort of note left by the other person, I noticed like some great grammar mistakes. So it's kids,
Yeah,
I
probably.
believe.
I'm just surprised I haven't got their shit more secure, really. But there we go. Right, next piece of news.
Yeah.
Go away. Okay, obviously we all know that the Mass Effect trilogy remaster is coming out, but there's been a little bit of controversy about this past week or so. I've seen on the old social medias. It looks like some scenes in the Mass Effect remaster are being censored from the original version, and gamers are extremely upset about this. Excuse me. So basically, this, from what I've read, this revolves around Miranda, who in the game was genetically engineered to be, like the perfect woman or whatever. And there were certain shots where they did close-ups of her butt. Now, her butt was fully clothed and all that, but they've changed the scene so you don't see her butt like that anymore. Crazy. I don't understand why they've decided to do that, though, to be honest, because you see a lot worse in other video games and no one bats an eyelid. But one thing that I was a little bit disappointed about, I mean, I'm not getting the game anyway, the remaster. I'm not that bothered. But
No, I have them on the Xbox.
But what disappoints me is that the developers, for the remaster, were quite happy to go on Twitter and slag off the gamers who were complaining about this censorship. One of the tweets was from one of the devs at BioWare saying, "Oh, if you guys want butt shots to fap over, why not just go on Pornhub?" I'm just like, that is no way to talk to your audience, no matter how you feel about certain issues. You're representing your company there. You should not be going on to social media and talking to your customers like that.
These people don't care though. They only care about their social standings and stuff. You see it in all facets of entertainment, be it like comics, films, or whatever. These people have got no issues with telling their customers to basically fuck off.
It's
Because
crazy.
they don't care about making money. They just care about giving out their message and putting their foot down and taking a stand to a degree. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, like I can see them changing certain things in a certain way because obviously you're remastering the game and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then to basically start attacking the fan base that are sort of pointing stuff out, saying like, well, "Why are you changing this?" And
Yeah.
rather than give like a proper explanation, just go, "Oh, gamers mad." Sort of typically,
Yeah.
it's no wonder these sort of people and stuff have got like generally a bad view in most people's eyes.
Yeah. I mean, and it just goes to show, right? Because you've had some polar opposites the past couple of weeks on Twitter, especially, which I'm trying to spend less and less time on because it just fucking makes me angry. You had the Resident Evil 8 demo and obviously the trailer, and there's that main character lady who's like 9 foot tall or something, and there's been a lot of fan art with her, and she's quite a sexualized woman, really. Big tits and the outfits that are quite revealing, right? And it just, and then this is different. So like Capcom have come out and said, "Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for doing your fan art and for loving our characters," and they went out and gave out all the information about the character, how tall she was, and all the other bits and pieces, and really embracing the gaming community around the support of their character. And that's what game devs should be doing. You embrace your community, make them feel part of something, not do what BioWare now seem to be doing, is just slating their fan base. It's just weird. I find that really, really odd. I thought PR was all meant to be right. Let's talk to the community. Let's try and sell as many copies as possible. But No, it's just a bizarre thing this week. It's been so weird to see.
It is a different BioWare. Don't forget, this isn't the
Oh no.
same BioWare that made
Mm.
those games. Like
Yeah.
pretty much a majority of the people have all done one out the door a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Trip's just saying BioWare have not released a game in probably a decade. I'm probably right. Maybe they've forgotten how to communicate.
Well, they released Anthem, if you can call that a well-received release, and Mass Effect Andromeda, which both have kind of tripped over its own feet out the doorway,
Yeah.
sort of a thing.
Yeah. I
See,
mean,
this is the
Anthem
thing, and
died
both of
straight away,
those
didn't it?
games, both of those games, I believe, suffered from the fact of they weren't listening to their customers or their audience.
Yeah.
Like people wanted certain things in Anthem,
Mm.
and then when things kind of were working the way the game was wanted, they're like, "Oh, this isn't what we intended. Like, we'll shut that off. We'll stop that." So
Yeah.
you had like this sort of looter shooter game that kind of was exceedingly lacking in the loot front.
Yes. And it was completely broken, apparently. I mean, I never played it. I was just remember laughing at all the news stories.
I was looking at it today, actually, because it's on the EA Play thing.
Yeah.
I weren't sure whether it was worth a download or not.
I don't know. It depends how easy the Chivos are,
Pretty,
Peebs, I
it's
suppose.
a pretty game. Yeah, it's a pretty game.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be doing on a sort of 2.0 version of it, but we haven't heard anything.
I don't know if that's even going to happen, mate, to be honest now. I think they're just
Yeah,
going to...
see, this is the thing. Yeah, like Final Fantasy, I think, was a lucky case because obviously MMOs were still quite a big deal, and even now there isn't really any new MMO sort of coming out to a degree, like of obviously a big title like a WoW or a Final Fantasy or something like that. So I think people were waiting for it. But with this, you've got a lot of customers that felt burnt the first time round. And then you're also going to have a lot of people that are like, "Huh, Anthem? No, you're all right, mate."
Yeah.
But we shall see.
Right, so move on.
Yep.
Okay, a couple more pieces of news. I probably missed loads of news this week, but I've not been awake for most of it. There's been some news today that Final Fantasy VII Remake will be getting some new content. This is going to be announced on the 13th of February at the Orchestra concert. I want to watch this concert, but apparently you need to buy tickets, and they're not selling them outside of Japan, even though it's an online concert.
Oh, maybe they just didn't want like outsiders to like jack up the servers for everyone else. I imagine it's being broadcast on Nico, isn't it? Because that's what Square Enix usually use.
No.
It's one of the Japanese video sites that they use a lot over there. Like when I was watching the live fan fests that Square Enix did a few years back, like they were on Nico.
Oh, okay. Yep, so that'll be interesting. And one interesting piece of news today.
I will say before you moved on, there was a rumor.
Yeah.
That obviously the new content for Final Fantasy Remake is for the PS5 version of the game.
What? Only?
Which is, I don't know, but there's also a thing saying also rumored to be coming to PC, but not listed for Xbox Series X or S.
Well, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, so that's why I'm sort of like take that as a massive rumor.
Yeah, most definitely.
But then again, it might be one of those things again, like another one where they announce like a PS5 upgrade with newfangled contents, and they obviously want everyone focusing on that news, so they're not going to give you news about maybe another platform to try and take the shine off it, which I think is what's happened with something else I'll mention later on when I talk about my games, rather than bore everyone to death with it early on.
Anyway, my last piece of news is about Grand Theft Auto 5. This game just never leaves the news cycle. GTA 5 has now sold over 140 million copies. Right? 2020 was its best sales year ever,
Christ.
selling over 10 million copies.
That's crazy.
No.
I must have been the 140 millionth customer because I bought it last week.
Wow.
Surely you mean the best year of sales since release? Because it would have sold well more than 10 million in 1 year.
That is the news story, mate. That's what I saw. It's nuts. 140 million copies. And that game and that console that game is going to span 3 console gens as well.
Yeah,
because it's coming out on PS4,
I mean, I've bought it
5 and Series X, isn't it?
I think most of us here have all bought it twice at least.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I bought it on 360 and then the back Xbox One. Yeah,
I've bought it 3 times because I'm a nut job. Yeah. So crazy times. Any other news?
Bit of news. I know I don't normally do news, but I just happened to be reading on my achievement site that I use that Xbox, the new Xbox, was the biggest selling console for January, although most people can't get it. It outsold the Switch and the PlayStation. Switch was second and PlayStation was third, but obviously you can't go too much into that because people can't get them.
Well, I think they probably made less PlayStations than Xboxes, maybe. That could probably be the only reason that I can think of, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's more PlayStation fanboys in the world than Xbox fanboys.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Stunty.
I've been playing my PlayStation quite a bit this week, which I'll talk about when we come to the games. But
Cool beans. Right, shall we get into what we've been playing then?
Can do.
Cool. You want to go first, Peebs?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, like I say, I've been playing my PlayStation a fair bit. I know I bought Uncharted Lost Legacy last summer, I think it was. I think you'd just been playing it, Webby, because you got me onto it and you'd completed it, and I downloaded it at the time. Played the first 3 chapters, and then I don't know why, but I ended up playing something else. I can't remember what it was now, but anyway, this week I've sort of finished pretty much my main games on the Xbox. I was sort of what can I do? And I know I like to get all my games that I've sort of half finished done out of the way before I start a big game, because I bought Grand Theft Auto again and in the sale for £12. And I thought, right, before obviously that's going to take a lot of time. It's complete, so I want to get all my little odds and ends finished. So I thought, well, that includes the PlayStation. So I went on it and started replaying. Well, not replaying, but carried on from where I was on Uncharted Lost Legacy. And must say, really, really enjoyed it.
It's a great game, man. It's a great game. I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it is a great game. Graphics, obviously, it's Naughty Dog, so it's brilliant graphics. It looks beautiful. Real good gameplay, good story, and just loved everything about it. And I sort of was doing a bit of trophy whoring on it as well. So you got when I finished it, you got a chapter to select and go back through and get all the treasures and stuff, and try and get some trophies on it. But yeah, really good game. I think I paid £16 for it at the time. It's not a great length.
I think it's a 10-hour game, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, still quite a long game. I mean, a lot of the chapters are fairly linear. But I think it's chapter 4. I think it's the one Webby's showing on Twitch now, which is I think it's chapter 4, the big open area, which is you have to go and get loads of little discs thing to unlock the door and stuff. But that level is that level is great. Yeah, you've got the little 4x4 Jeep that you go around. There's little forts with enemies. You can take it stealthily or go in all guns blazing. Loads of little puzzles. It's just really, really well done. Beautiful looking game. If you've got a PlayStation and you like the Uncharted games, you've not already played it, then play it. Because I had a couple of lads at work who are PlayStation fanboys, and one of them didn't. I was talking about it, and he hadn't even heard of it. I was like, well, how can you be a PlayStation fanboy? He goes, "Oh, I've played all the Uncharted." I said, "Yeah, but this is Uncharted, part of the franchise, but it's not a Nathan Drake main, main game."
They're just filthy casuals, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
I still possibly think that this was basically a DLC that was originally planned, that they thought, like, no, we can expand on this and just make it its own standalone.
Yeah, could have.
Maybe.
Because you do run into the issue of, obviously, if the DLC comes out like months after a game's come out, you've got the problem of people have already sold the game on.
Yeah,
and they're not going to want to have to go and rebuy the game and buy the DLC as well. Whereas if they just do the standalone, like, solo smaller games, they can still sell it to people without needing the original.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
It's a good game, man. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought the two lady characters are really, really good. Really, really well done.
Yeah, the what's her name?
Is it
Chloe
Nadine?
Fraser?
Nadine and Chloe? No, is it Nadine and Chloe?
Yeah, Nadine and Chloe. Yeah.
Yeah, Chloe's fit. She's fit for a game character. But yeah, really, really good game. So while I had the PlayStation on, I played a little bit of the Fallout guys.
Fall Guys, you mean?
Fall Guys, I mean, yeah, Fall Guys. What did I say? Fallout Guys.
Fallout
Guys. Fall Guys.
Don't give them ideas, Peebs.
And again, that's I know we've mentioned it before, and I just wish this was like cross-play or available on the Xbox.
Yeah.
But it is a great little game. But I can't get past the third round. I've not won an event. I came second in one event, but I can't win the whole thing. It is a little bit clunky and frustrating at times. Like when you get knocked over and you struggle getting up, and sometimes when you've got to jump and you don't grab onto the things properly. I think there's a bit of skill, but a lot of luck as well.
Yeah.
Because you could be leading. I mean, I've been leading quite a way, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get knocked over or get knocked off the course, and then you're way back. So, but I think it's season 3 at the minute. I think it's about another 10, 15 days before they bring out a new season. So, be interesting to see what they do. But there's loads of courses now, and the only thing is I don't know. They're on season 3, but it's still like a Christmas season. They obviously brought it out for Christmas, but it's now February. Or when I was playing it last week, last week it was still the end of January, beginning of February, and it's still Christmassy. Like they've got the snow and they've got the like bells ringing. I'm thinking they should have timed the seasons better so that season 3 finished maybe sort of 5th of January, sort of because obviously it just doesn't sound right now with it not being Christmas. But obviously
I think most of them do seasons by quarters. I think Fortnite does like one every sort of 3 months.
Yeah, so it's due for season 4. So I'll put that on again when season 4 comes out and have another go. But the trophies on that are fairly hard because I think it's trophies for winning a whole event, which is doable. Because I think you've done it a couple of times, haven't you, Webby?
Yeah, I've won it I think I've won it at least probably 10 times.
Oh, really?
I've played it. I went through a phase of just playing it all the time. I reckon I've done about 40, 50 hours on it now. I love it. I think it's a great game. Yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't played it. Go on, sorry, Darren, you go.
No, I was about to say I watched one of the guys from like Able Gamers win it with an adaptive controller.
Oh, nice.
He was well chuffed. I was like, fair play, mate. Like, just literally got there at the last minute and touched the crown.
Once you get used to the levels, you know the tricks of the trade, if you know what I mean, like how to get across the levels quicker. You know, it's
there is a bit of memorising the
and what I really like about it is they've really spent a lot of time adding a lot more courses so it doesn't get too repetitive. Because when I first started playing it, you know, you were always getting the same kind of 8 courses, but now it's always different courses, different game modes. It just keeps it fresh.
Yeah,
I really like it. The only thing I don't like on the PC version is you can't have your own name, because I'm having problems with people having, you know, naughty names.
Oh, hacking it for having stupid names and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't.
No, you're just numbered, aren't you?
Well, you were numbered. They've recently changed it, so you just have like a random name generator within the games. You can only have the names that they give you, which
That's
is
fair
really
enough.
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, on PlayStation, yeah, you can. I think you press right trigger or right the top shoulder, and it'll bring up your gamer tag. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, one of the trophies for it is winning 5 actual whole events, 5 on the trot, which I
Oh
think
my
is
God.
pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
Another,
No, unless you're an expert.
another ones are for like just grinding, like reach level 40 in one season, and
Wow.
I think I'm about a level 11. So it take age. You'd have to constantly play it, to rank up in a season type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of them games where I just when I switch from PlayStation on, I always just have a little, have a few games on it. And you think one more.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
it gets
Yeah.
frustrating. I have to turn it off.
That's what it's meant for, though. It's not one of those
Yeah.
games you're just going to sit there and play all day long, is it?
No, exactly. So yeah, while I obviously had the PlayStation on, and I told you on the last episode I was on, I've got the Spider-Man Miles Morales game.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I switched that on just to have a little look at it. I only played literally the tutorial in the beginning.
That's good enough.
Yeah, you fight. I think it's Rhino, isn't it? And you're chasing him around. And now I've done that bit, and it's opened up the map now.
Nice.
But it looks and feels pretty much the same as the previous Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's been out now, but I only played it last summer. So, and because I platinumed it and I collected everything on it, I do feel that I was burnt out. And because this one feels very similar, I think
Yeah.
although I did plan to play it, I think I'm going to wait a little bit longer just to go back before I go to it. Otherwise, I think I might find it a little bit burnt
Yeah, I
out on
know
it,
what
or a
you're
little bit
saying.
repetitive,
Yeah.
because
It's a fair bit shorter. Again, it's around the same sort of length as like Lost Legacy, I'd say, but it's still got like the collectibles and things like that there. If you want to take longer and search them out, I think Elliot sort of like went through it all in a day or two.
It's bloody nuts.
And platinumed it.
Well, I did look at the trophies for, and it looks fairly easy to platinum. Although there's just one trophy, it requires you to complete it on New Game Plus. So in theory, you have to play it twice to platinum it, which is annoying. Yeah, because
Dragon's Dogma had that as well, so you can't complain.
So although I'll probably enjoy it when I play it, to play it again might be annoying. Although normally you get to keep, you keep all your perks and specialities and everything you've unlocked, so you should in theory complete it quicker. But I suppose you could always complete it once. Don't just keep, because I've got it on my hard drive, it's downloaded, I can't trade it or anything, so I could always just keep it, and then in a year or two's time play it again. Like I said the other week, sometimes when you've not played a game for a while, you go back to it, it feels like it's playing a new game. So you could always do it.
PS5 by then as well, so you have the PS5 version.
yeah, true. So yeah, while I was on the PlayStation, when I do switch my PlayStation, I always have a look on the store and see what sort of deals and stuff they've got on, just to see if there's anything worth purchasing. And I happened to see Double Dragon on there, the original, which is one of my all-time classics. I've completed it on Xbox Arcade. I've completed the Double Dragon Neon do you remember the Neon one they brought out?
Oh yeah.
Didn't you have a ball ache with that a little bit?
Yeah. I got the full 200 gamer score. Remember when arcade games were only 200 gamer score?
Yeah, back when they were the right value for the price you paid for the game.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I did that, and then Neon. I think that's when they upped them to 400. They upped them to 400 at some point, didn't they? But I don't think I got the full 400 on that. I can't remember now without going through my game list. Yeah, so the one on the PlayStation is just like I can't remember what they call it now, classic arcade or something. It was only £2.89. So I thought, it's less than a pint. So I thought, less than the price of a pint. So I'll play it, and then I've unlocked all the trophies on that. Although it doesn't have a platinum.
Oh no.
No, and apparently my brother said this because he's a big PlayStation fanboy. And he says apparently some of these little arcade type games, although you get all the trophies, it doesn't give you a platinum for it.
Oh.
which is a bit odd.
I think that might be down to the tie-in, because obviously back in the day, every platform had its own separate things, didn't it? And trophies came in after achievements.
Yes.
And that's when we started getting those stupid achievements of obtain all other achievements to get this achievement sort of a one, which is technically the platinum trophy that you get for PlayStation. So maybe they've avoided doing that because of the other platforms that it's on.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of the easier ones to get all the trophies. Basically, you go into the menu and you just press all the different options in the menu.
Right.
To get them all, to get all the bronze, and then there's 2 silvers, and the 2 silvers are get a score of over 20,000, and then post it online. So I got all the trophies. It took me a little while to get over 20,000 points, but it was reminiscing from back in the day. I think this game came out in 1987.
Wow.
So it
is an old game.
I remember playing this on my Atari ST.
I mean, this was cutting edge when it came out. This was this was like the AAA game. Everyone played Double Dragon.
Awesome.
So so that's the PlayStation done.
Cool. Let's go on to the decent console then.
So Xbox. Told you I've downloaded Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
Mainly because you guys all over Christmas were getting back into it, and I thought, well, I haven't played it for 7 years. I think when it came out on the 360.
Yeah.
And so put it on, did the tutorial. Thought this is looking pretty good for an old game. I know it's probably been upscaled a little bit for the new the what Xbox I've got, but I thought it looked really nice still. Did the first few missions, sort of remember it slightly, and then dabbled on online, but I still don't get what the online's about. I need someone to come in there with me and show me what I'm supposed to be doing, because I'm stood in there, I'm walking around the streets, and then I went into a garage and I bought a garage, and then that's it, right? I did a race and was absolutely useless. And that was about it. I just thought, I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess you just go around. I know you do heists and stuff, don't you? Can you?
Yeah, you can do the heists. You unlock heists as you go along, and you buy better apartments and stuff. And it takes quite a bit of getting into, because me and Hogarth were playing the online a while ago, and luckily my account had ported over from when I was playing on the Xbox all those years ago. So I still had a lot of money, and I had my apartment and stuff, because you need to buy an apartment to do the heist. And so the heists are good. You can play with randoms, you can do races. There's loads of different game modes online. There's a casino. But I mainly reinstalled it just to play for campaign again, because, like you, I hadn't played it since the Xbox 360. So it was like playing a new game again, because, I feel like I've forgotten most of it. Bloody hell, it's such a great game. It really is. Holds up so well.
Yeah, it does look really nice still. Who's the because you've got the 3 characters, haven't you? You've got the black dude, the psycho dude. What's the other one?
Trevor.
I can't remember what his name is.
Trevor's the mental dude.
Michael.
Yeah.
Is it Michael?
Yeah, Michael. Yeah.
Is he the one with like the missus and who's getting tennis lessons and got the kid? Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Franklin.
Franklin, yeah.
Trevor, Franklin, and Michael.
Yeah. And he's by the pool with his Hawaiian shirt, listening to Phil Collins. I just thought Dan straight away, he must have hated that. But like I say, I want to get all my other little things mopped up before I start putting all my effort into the main campaign on Grand Theft Auto 5. So just a few little things mopped up. So I had UFC 4. That's a trial. So obviously they do the 10-hour trials, don't they? Can you hear me?
This is off the EA
Yeah, because Webby, you are
I was
crackling to me.
going to mention that you're breaking up quite badly, Webby.
Am I still breaking up now?
The chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Yeah, it's just being a bit poppy when you're talking and cutting in and out.
Is it cutting in and out?
Yeah, still doing
Let me leave the Discord and join back again.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was wondering for a little bit, and then you spoke Peebs, and I was like, no, Peebs is fine. I can hear him perfectly.
Well, the thing is with this, I find with this Discord, because when you was on Skype, you used to be able to type privately to each other just to tell each other things. You can't do it in this Discord, can you?
No.
I think you can. Oh, you sound all right now, Webby, as far as I know.
Oh, yeah, that's better,
Yeah, you're back to normal,
Yeah, so I just left Discord and came back in again.
Yeah. So, UFC 4. Now, I played 1 when it first came in, because when the first one came out, I was really into the UFC. Big time. I used to watch it all the time. They used to have the Ultimate Fighter on Bravo, if anyone remembers Bravo channel.
That was such a good series.
Yeah, it was good when they put them all in the house and they fight each other and stuff. Really good, and it, but then over the last 3 or 4 years, it's gone over to BT Sport, and I pay so much for my Sky and Sports and everything at the minute. And then BT Sport won like another £20 a month. I'm like, just can't do it. So I've sort of not really been in the loop with UFC at all, really. I still go on their website now and then and read a few bits, but I've not really watched any for a long time. But the game came up on the trial, 10 hours. So I thought, I'll have a look. And pleasantly surprised. I've really been liking it. And I think I've done quite a bit on it, actually. And this is what I was going to say to you guys. I think these 10-hour trials, although they're good for us, I think they're actually doing themselves out of, because I'll probably play the 10 hours of that. I've got like 400 achievements on it.
Wow.
Oh, what? They didn't used to allow you to earn achievements off the trials before.
Oh, didn't they?
As far as I know.
Oh, right. I've unlocked I'm sure it's about 350, 400 G on it. I've done quite a bit of the career. I've had quite a few fights online. I'm thinking I've still got about 6 hours left on my trial. So I'm thinking I'll probably exhaust all the trial and then probably won't play anymore and won't buy it, which is the object, because they're trying to get you to buy it.
If you wait long enough, it'll end up on the sort of EA Game Pass thing anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because they've already got 3. They've already got the other 3 on Game Pass. So really, I think they should be doing maybe an hour trial, 2-hour trial. So you just get enough feel for the game, and then if you really like it, then you purchase it. But
because what they normally do on most games is they limit where you can get up to on, say, a campaign of a single player game as well in those trials.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I haven't hit a ceiling yet. I mean, I'm in the career mode, because you sort of start off as like just fighting in not the back streets, but like real small little independent shows with no hardly anyone in the crowd and stuff, and then you get spotted and get signed a contract and go into the big time in the UFC. I mean, I haven't had title shots or anything yet, but I'm on the undercards in the main event. So, but whether it does do that, I don't know. But from what I've played of it so far, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually streamed a bit on Twitch the end of last week. So if you go to my Twitch channel, I've actually highlighted my knockout on there. And that's where the pretty boy Peebs names come from, because it gives you an option when you make your character up. You can obviously name them, but it gives you the standard names of most fighters. And I thought, they'll have Pitbull on there, and they didn't. The closest one was Pretty Boy, so I was called our character's Pretty Boy Peebs. So yeah, I had quite a few people come in and watch that. It was quite good, actually, because it's sort of a niche game. So but the graphics are good. I think it's in depth, so you can just do career mode. You can fight online. I mean, there's plenty of people playing online. I never struggled. These games back in the day when UFC 1 came out, you did sort of struggle to find people online. Yeah, it's sort of a niche game, but obviously that was when it was not mainstream. UFC is probably pretty mainstream now. Like, you know, Conor McGregor's probably one of the most famous sort of sports people in the world now, and he's, you know, known for the UFC. So it is mainstream. So there's a lot more people playing it. Like I say, so I didn't get any. Although I didn't win a fight online on the computer against the AI, I win because I have noobed it down to like easy. But when you're playing online against people, it's really hard. And when you just swing in punches, yeah, it's a bit of pot luck. But when you start wrestling and getting your opponent down to the ground, it's all about getting them in submission holds, and it's all about moving the analog sticks into certain directions and stuff. And it is quite niche and quite difficult. So it is a bit of a pain. But yeah, overall, really, really liking the game. And like I say, I'm going to continue with the trial and get as much enjoyment out of it as I can. And then, like Darren says, when it'll probably be on Game Pass next year. So
yeah.
So I won't purchase it.
So is this a new release then? I'll take it.
Yes, it's only a month old, I think.
Oh, okay. It's very recent then.
Yeah, it's very recent. Yeah.
Graphics look good.
Yeah, it's good. The graphics and everything's really good. Definitely try the trial. You might, even if you're not really into these sort of games, pleasantly surprised. Because you remember the old days, it used to be the boxing games, when it Knockout, and they used to bring one of them out every year.
But the fight nights.
The fight nights, that's it. And
I love those. They were great.
They sort of really stopped doing them, whether they just didn't sell well. But every generation have always had good boxing games, but they just don't seem to be a thing anymore like they used to be. Perhaps this UFC sort of taken over.
I think, it's a mixture of that. Plus, you think of how many big names were in boxing back then. There was a lot of big names. I couldn't really name any more than maybe 4 boxers nowadays.
Yeah, and you can actually get Anthony Joshua in this game as well. I think they're like DLC or extra. Yeah, DLC or you can pay for extra. They're not in my game, but I've seen people use them against me. Obviously, people who've bought the extra characters, but I think you can get definitely Anthony Joshua. I don't know if you can get Tyson Fury on there or not, but so yeah, they've integrated
no Bruce Lee this time then.
I think there was Bruce Lee as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So what else? Trying to think what else. I've downloaded a couple of games, but I haven't actually played them yet. I'm still playing on the River City Girls. I'm on the 3rd boss now. No, 4th boss. I think 4th boss.
I've seen a few people on my friends list playing that in the last week or so.
Yeah, probably because they heard me on the potty, maybe. But like I say, it's free on the Game Pass. It's a good little side-scroll and beat 'em up. The bosses are difficult, though. I will say that. Have you played this, Darren? I'm surprised you've not played it because it's like a Japanese.
No, I think I mentioned this. It's Japanese styled, but there's no way of playing it with Japanese language, so it's all English voiceover, and I can't take it.
Yeah.
OCD kicks in again.
Yeah. That's right. I did buy a game on Xbox, but it was only 79p.
Oh, big spender, Peebs.
Yeah, it's called Yet Another Zombie Defense Game.
Okay.
And it's basically...
I made a game with zombies in it. Do you remember that on Xbox Live Arcade?
Yeah. And it's obviously like a little indie game, but it's got the 4,000 game score on it, and people playing it on because you can play it online. But it's basically you just start off. You can pick between 4 characters. I think woman, man, SWAT, doctor. You start off with a pistol, and you just like in an open area, and obviously just the zombie nights they call them, night 1, and you'll get so many zombies, shoot them. Then it'll be night 2, but you earn cash. So then after every round, you've earned cash, and then you can upgrade guns, buy defenses, like barricades, and then you can buy shotguns, machine guns, rocket launchers, lasers.
Oh, okay. It kind of looks like. Do you remember? It looks like a nicer version of. Do you remember that game? I made a game with zombies in it on 360. That little indie game.
Yeah,
you remember that? It looks like a better graphics version of that.
Yeah, so I mean, because it's only like a little indie game. It's only 79p, and the graphics are quite good in it. I mean, it's fairly basic. I mean, you just go around shooting the zombies, but there are a few little. I think there are different game modes. There's like an endless one. There's I can't remember what they're called now, but yeah, there's like 3 different modes. You can play online with 4 other people, and it's just basically just waves and waves of zombies to survive as long as you can, basically. But obviously, as you go along, you can upgrade your guns and build defenses and try and keep the zombies out. But yeah, as the nights go on, you're getting bigger and harder zombies and like werewolves and things. And so yeah, for 79p, you can't knock it. It's a good little game.
How goes the route to 10k anyway?
That didn't go well. I think I got about 4. Oh. Yeah, and Webby beat me on the game score leaderboard last month, which I'm not happy about.
For how much? I didn't even notice. I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you did. And this month, I think you're ahead of me on this month as well. So I don't know what you've been playing.
I've not even played anything apart from the medium, which I'll talk about in a bit. But
yeah,
it was the night. Anything else.
Yeah, and I think you're ahead of me. But then saying that, because I've been playing my PlayStation a bit more this month, so I've obviously slapped off a bit. So we'll see this month, because I've downloaded a few games to try and because I did see on the dashboard. I don't really want to say it because people will hear it, but like the 10k challenge at the Microsoft have done, like the gamer score stuff. EA are doing one, and it's whoever can get the most.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's for an Xbox. Yeah, I think there's 5 to win for the new Xboxes, which I ain't got no chance of winning. But it's whoever gets the most gamer score within a certain time, but only with the EA games.
Oh. Well, that's a bit shit for people that have already completed those games.
Though, well, yeah, exactly. Because I looked on the EA Play thing to see what games I could download to try and at least attempt the challenge, and I thought, well, I've played half of them. And
well, I might play Star Wars then, because I've not played that yet on the Xbox.
All right, yeah, because I completed that the other month, so yeah, I'm trying to think. And then they've got some FIFAs on there, but they're not necessarily the easiest games to get a lot of achievements on. It's a lot of grinding and stuff. So yeah, I probably won't attempt it. Well, I might attempt it, but I've got no chance of winning it. But that made me download Unravel, which is
that's a good game. That.
Yeah, I mean, I played just before I came on. I played like just the first bit, the tutorial, and it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah,
I think it's another Swedish Scandinavian developer. There seems to be a lot of Scandinavian developers knocking out some good games. But yeah, really, really pretty looking. Don't really do too much about it because I haven't put enough time into it yet.
Quite old now, though. But there's a second one, isn't there? That's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I did read up about it, and they did say the achievements were fairly doable on this game. I thought, well, if I like it, then I can play the second one as well. So, we want to have that to play this week. Like I say, I've only played this bit that's on the Twitch now, which is just swinging about and like a side-scrolling type. I'm guessing you're going to get come across puzzles and things and try and move things around.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. And then I've downloaded some games, but I've not played them yet. Desperado 3, Grim Fandango, Walking Dead. So they'll be my games to play in the coming weeks to talk about. I did finish Control. I know I was playing that last time over Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Last time I was
on PS Plus now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard people talking about it on PS Plus, and I said, well, it's definitely worth. I really liked it. I know I said when I was on, I did find it frustratingly difficult. But after that, because I said at the time, there's no difficulty settings because I needed to knock it down because I completed the game, but I wanted to go back and get a few more achievements. There was loads of a few side missions still left to do, a few little bosses that you don't need to kill in the main campaign that I wanted to go back and kill. One of them was just seriously too difficult. Couldn't beat him. Tried him, must have been 50 times. Looking on YouTube, how do you kill this guy? People were doing it by trying to glitch and hide under certain bots, but I did read in one of the comments, someone said you can go into the menu and you can actually change, although it doesn't let you change the difficulty, it lets you change the settings that you can one-shot kill enemies.
Oh, really?
Like a little cheat, yeah. So I thought, oh, well, I'll have a look at that, yeah. And so when you go in, you can adjust the settings. So you've not got old school like easy, medium, difficult, but you can actually just go in and one-shot kill enemies or two-shot enemies. Just so you can just adjust it to how you want to play it, which I wish I'd known from the start because it would have been less frustrating. And although, yeah, it's I don't know whether you can call it cheating as such. It just would have moved it down. So yeah, I went in. I did a cheeky one-shot kill that boss that had just defeated me 50 times previously,
Nice.
just to kill him and get the achievement. But overall, really enjoyed the game. Graphics really good. Everything about it really, apart from just I said last time, the map was
Yeah, the
difficult
map's
to
a bit
navigate.
annoying. Yeah.
Trying to get around, and then when it's telling you to go somewhere which is right over the side, trying to get across there without, you just need like a little compass or an arrow to show you where to go, because otherwise you just have to keep going into the menu, look at the map, where am I, right? It was just annoying. I don't know if that was just me, but overall good game. And I think that's it. I know I said to you today, Webby, in the chat, I want to get into Division 2. I've had that on my hard drive a year. I played a little bit, and I know thing is, I got it in a sale, and I should have got it when everyone else got it when it first came out, because obviously everyone sort of played it now. But I noticed today it had another update, so I think, are they still supporting this game? And
Yeah, they're still supporting it. There was a big DLC.
I will talk about it briefly when I come to my games.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it. And then.
But they added a new expansion last year in New York, and this week they added a new update for PS5 and Series X support, which updates the frame rate and the graphics and makes them a bit more shiny. So
yeah,
I think that's why people have got back into it. But it's one of those games that desperately needs cross-play, because I've rinsed it on the PC. And if I want to play it on the Xbox for you, Peebs, I've got to start it all over again, which is really annoying.
Well, I'll quite happily start all over again if you wanted to do that, because I'm literally not far in it at all. So,
well, I'd need to buy it again. It's £12. £12.
Yeah, I think I got it for like £12. That's what made me purchase it last time. But I don't know what's made me
£9 at one point.
Yeah, I think it has sort of been reduced in the past, but I don't know, because when I sort of played it the first time, because I think I played the first one with you guys when the first one came out, and we had a great time on it. But when the second one came out, I just sort of missed the boat a bit and just didn't get it when everyone else got it for some reason. But just with everything in the world going on at the minute, it just made me want to play it again, because it just makes it more realistic, with the storming of the Capitol building and this coronavirus and everything going on. It just makes it feel, this actually could happen. This could be the future.
Let's hope it isn't the future, but yeah.
Well, yeah, let's hope it isn't. No, but it just makes the game feel a little bit more realistic,
grounded.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's everything. I don't think I've missed anything. So, whoever's next,
Darren.
Oh, I might as well just briefly mention the Division 2. Yeah, I recently sort of downloaded it onto the Series X because I heard they were doing an update for it, which was rumoured to be around sort of early February, that was going to give the better support. So basically, it's just giving it a 60 FPS frame rate as far as I can tell. There's no other visual differences from playing the Xbox One X version.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously on the One X, it was doing like the 4K resolution anyway, whether it was upscaled or whatever. So it always looked crystal and clear and everything. It just, and even then, when I was playing it in 60, for the brief amount of time I did play it, it didn't really feel that much different, to be honest. But it might have been because I'd been away from the game for so long.
Yeah.
So they did an update, which is obviously not just this. It's like a Resident Evil apparel event. So basically, if you log in, you're supposed to get like Leon's costume for free and do all these other things in the game, and you can unlock outfits for some of the other characters and stuff. But I logged in, and because even though I own the DLC, because I haven't finished all of the DLC, fuck you, I got nothing.
Oh.
So I just turned it straight off after that, pretty much, because they don't know how to fucking do a world events in that game to save their lives, just by excluding like most of their player base from actually accessing them. Whereas, like as I've said before, in the first game, you can do any event, anyone can. You don't need to be at a set point through the story. You don't need to own the DLC and be in a certain area. You can just access the events as they happen.
Darren,
But
just finish the game, man. It's brilliant.
it's all right. It's just frustrating, and it literally like where the first game sort of like I've said before, you can deviate and go off and do what you want when you want and everything. Like in this game, you're just funneled. You're just literally funneled down one track route, sort of a thing. And there's even people I know who still play the game, which much like myself in a certain sense, just bitch about it all the time and say how broken it is. Like they play it because they enjoy it and they've invested a lot of time into it, but they still say it's a broken pile of shit. Like most of the time, it's unbalanced and God knows what else. So I'm hoping if they ever decide to do a Division 3, they completely scrap what they've done with this game. Like they can keep like the level design and all of that kind of stuff, because I think that is a step up from the first game. It's just for me the gameplay and the perks and like your abilities and that were just worse. And like I say, the way you were sort of pegged into, oh, you've got to do this, and then you've moved up a tier and you can't tier back down, and you've got to do this and then that, and then you've got to run these again because they're invaded. It's like, fuck off. So yeah, that's Division 2 out of the way. I am going to bore people now for about 3 or 4 minutes, so you might want to skip ahead if you don't want to hear about the Final Fantasy expansion that was announced the other day. So this Saturday morning, I decided to stay up until 4 a.m. watching a live presentation, which I would normally be attending in person, but they've had to cancel all the events because of the pandemic. So they pretty much did sort of like a brief run over all the stuff they would have announced during like the Las Vegas Fan Fest and obviously the London Fan Fests that were cancelled. So they announced obviously the brand new expansion coming to the game, which is the fifth expansion. No, the fourth expansion, sorry. So the base game is technically known as 2.0, and this is going to be 6.0, but it's the actual fifth expansion. And in this expansion, it's going to wrap up the entire storyline of the arc that's been starting since the beginning of, even going back as far as 1.0 to a degree. And I know a lot of them, the story continues on for a few patches after the expansion ends. Because obviously, as you know, Webby, we had the one briefly recently where it was like 5.3. It was like it finally ended like the whole Shadowbringers storyline and everything, and then started bringing in like another threat.
Yeah,
that had been looming in the background. So yeah. So Yoshi, like the head developer, actually said like the entire story will be wrapped up by the end of this expansion. Like the patches that continue on past that point will be starting a brand new story, which is kind of interesting to see what they're doing.
Most definitely, because as you know, I've resubbed in the last couple of weeks, and I've been playing it again and really enjoying playing it again because there's a lot of new content for me to rip through with the patches, and some of the stuff that's happening at the minute feels like it's really gearing now towards the new expansion that's going to come towards the end of this year. I'm really looking forward to it. And my missus has been watching me play, and she's
because I know you mentioned
as well now.
Yeah, you mentioned like obviously something that turned up that you were like, "What are these?"
Yeah,
when we was playing the other day. When you go around certain zones in the game now, you will see those just have popped up in certain zones, and you can see them in the distance. And obviously at night time, you just see like the huge beams of light and stuff. Obviously, so yeah, things are obviously about to go to shit per se. I'd agree in that sense. So yeah, we got the reveal of the new expansion. The name's a bit weird. It's called End Waker, is it?
Walker.
or Endwalker. Endwalker.
Yeah.
Which, if you abbreviate it, it's Final Fantasy 14. Because they usually like abbreviate them, like Heaven's Ward is HW, Stormblood SB, and Shadowbringers SHB. So this will be
And I think some of it's going to be set on the moon.
Yes, it's looking that way. There was an opening cutscene of the CG trailer, where it was like showcasing your sort of Warrior of Light as it was treading around on the moon. Now we've seen characters on the moon before, going back to Heaven's Ward. One of the patches there were conversations between people on the moon, as it were. But this is Final Fantasy. It's completely far-fetched and bizarre. So there you go. So along with obviously expansion reveal, you're going to get new classes. They've only announced one of the classes, which is going to be a healer class, which is Sage, which kind of uses these weird floating sort of needle gun things. Kind of strange for a healer. Definitely like out of left field as far as a healer class would go. And the other one they've teased but haven't shown yet is supposed to be a melee DPS class, which is like yet to be revealed. Summons are obviously a large part of the Final Fantasy games, and throughout the different expansions and stuff, you've been fighting a multitude of these different ones. There's probably, God, I can't even recall how many are in the game now by this point. So many different iterations of classics and stuff, but they've announced one of my fan favourites from Final Fantasy X will be making an appearance in this expansion, which is Anima, which is just a completely horrific looking, tortured kind of summon, which should basically translate into an awesome boss fight because of the mechanics of that summon and how it works. If you've played 10, you'll sort of understand. There's like a top half, and then there's a secret bottom part that you don't ever really see most of the time. Yep, they also announced a Final Fantasy, a PS5 upgrade for the game, which we all knew it was coming. I mean, you can already install the PS4 version onto the PS5 as it is now.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it because you need to faff about to transfer all of your hotbars and all of these other bits and bobs. And I'm hoping you might not have to do that when you transfer it over properly when they do the proper release. Because
see, that's strange because they added an option on the PC version where you can save those settings and upload them to the cloud.
Yeah, this is I think that's what you have to do. But when I transferred from PS3 to PS4, I was taking screenshots of all my different hotbars and my setups and HUD layout and stuff just to make sure. Yeah, but then when I actually installed it onto the PS4, it was all there straight off the bat.
Brilliant.
Because it's just plucking it all off, and it's using the same PlayStation architecture, the same button mapping, everything. It's all the same.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it will roughly be that. We'll get more details when it sort of arrives anyway.
Yeah, so according to come like April, May time, isn't it?
I believe it's April.
Yeah.
April the 13th or April the 12th, something like that. It's supposed to coincide with the last patch of this expansion.
So yeah, I mean this is another game, Darren, that's transcended 3 different console generations. You know, it started on the PS3 and is now, PS4 and then PS5. I think, and this MMO is still as popular as ever, on console and PC, which is, it's amazing to think about, really.
Well, considering it almost tanked the company, I think 1.0 put Square Enix in such a horrendous spot because they poured all this money into a game that basically epically failed in the eyes of many of its fans and a lot of peers in the industry as well, even. But then they had their hardcore people who persevered and fought through it and everything, because you will just get fans of certain things. And if people had moved from Final Fantasy 11 to 14 when it first came out, they'd be like, right, we'll stick with this and whatnot. And at the end of the day, those people were then fully rewarded for sticking with the game. When obviously Final Fantasy 14 originally launched, those people, I don't know whether they still get it now, those people get reduced memberships because they were 1.0 players, they actually pay less for their sub because they stuck with the original game for so long. And they also got unique mounts and equipment that transferred from the original game into this, along with some of the titles as well. And they're only available, I think, still now to this day for people who played the 1.0.
That's cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be basically like a normal upgrade from the PS4 version. So it's like on the Pro, you can play the game in obviously better, higher resolution at the cost of frame rate, or you can play it like I do, which is like the standard sort of resolution with the higher frame rate anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously on the new one, you're going to be able to play it with an increased resolution with the frame rate you have now, I believe. Or you can super basically go like native with it, like and stuff, but obviously at the cost of performance. But then it might even be pushing past 60 FPS. I don't know, because it already does 60 FPS, and I'm sure it's pretty much 60 FPS generally on standard PS4s anyway. Because it runs on its own servers. And it's definitely like one of the smoothest MMOs I've ever played on the console, without a doubt, hands down. Like you know what you're paying for with your monthly sub with that game, which is why I don't begrudge paying like £8 a month. It's like £2 a week.
Yeah.
To get pretty much almost flawless connection on the servers. The best part that they showed off, there is a brief trailer that showcases like the features that it's going to have, and obviously the biggest draw of it is the teleport. Like pretty much instant teleporting around the zone.
That's good.
Like is going to be a huge game changer, and while I'm running my dailies every day, that's going to save me a lot of time.
Brilliant.
Not having to sit there loading into different zones for sort of like seconds at a time. Yeah, strangely enough though, no Xbox announcement yet.
Oh no, that's so odd. They need to sort that out.
Well, it's got to be coming, because Phil Spencer said about a year or two back that it's happening, it's coming. Now, it would make sense for them to do it here at the final part of this entire story, for them to then be like, boom, and it's on Xbox, and you've got all the content from 2.0 leading all the way into this expansion. But I've got a feeling, because they did this PS5 announcement, they didn't want to take the shine off that by then announcing like it for another system as well. Now, they are holding a live 2-day event in May, which is going to give us the full trailer reveal, give us more job, like the title of the other job, and obviously go into a lot more information about the different bits and bobs coming with the game. And I think that's where they're going to announce it. It would make sense for them to do that there and then, because at the end of the day, Square Enix wanted to do this. They had an Xbox One version of Final Fantasy XIV done and dusted years ago, but because of Microsoft not wanting at the time Xbox players to be playing with people on PlayStation, and wanting their own servers specifically for solely Xbox people, Square Enix said, no, you're not doing that, because obviously we've got PC and PlayStation servers on all of our different servers. Why the hell should you get your own servers just for your platform? And then you're going to run into issues when it comes to matchmaking, like queuing for dungeons, all that kind of stuff, because you'll only be queuing up. It's a lot more back end for the game to try and work its head around.
Yeah, but I
If you
mean,
know
the
what I
thing
mean,
is, though,
in
crossplay's
that sense.
been a thing for a while now, so I don't
Oh
understand
no,
why it hasn't
oh
come out.
no, that was like, that's what I said. Like
Yeah.
when it was ready to be released for Xbox, they had a working version going. They told us at one of the events that they had a version, but they scrapped it because Microsoft were making kind of unreasonable demands with it. But now, obviously, no one gives a shit about crossplay and stuff anymore. All of that's fully on the cards. But I think when Phil Spencer announced that it was coming out to Xbox, it was just after Shadowbringers had launched, I think. So it had already kind of missed the boat on that expansion, which is still, as story goes, probably the best expansion.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it was phenomenal. One of the other game modes I will briefly mention that they teased as well is kind of like a Harvest Moon
Yeah, I saw this. It looks
style game
interesting, doesn't
mode.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you basically get given like farmland, and you can cultivate and grow your farm up and stuff. And I can understand why they've possibly done this, because I was saying to one of the members in our FC, if you want to do gardening and growing plants and all that kind of stuff, I mean, yeah, you can do a little bit in your apartment, like you can buy like potted plants that you can have in your room, but you can't actually like grow vegetables and like the carrots and stuff that the chocobos eat and all that kind of stuff, unless you have an actual house and use the garden. And because there's a huge housing shortage in the game, like it's almost like one of the biggest fights for people whenever they release new housing plots is everyone is fighting over those housing plots when a new patch lands, usually.
Just like real life.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, but by doing this, it then gives everyone an area where they can go off to and then like grow their own stuff and then sell it on the market and all these other bits and bobs. So, but they did actually say like this is going to be just an area where you can just chill out and take things easy and slowly, which is what a lot of people like. I mean, there is obviously in Final Fantasy XIV, there's a lot of story content, raid content, battle content, and all of that. But then when you come to the housing and stuff, that goes way more in depth than I thought it was
Yeah.
originally going to. Like, people have come up with these weird and wonderful like houses where they deck them out with all sorts of different things, like display their equipment on the side, and there is like a complete other sort of second life kind of aspect to the game. But I will move on now anyway from that. Or will I? No. No, actually. Yeah, I've got a little moan.
Oh,
Surprise,
God.
surprise. Yeah. So obviously we had patch 5.5.5 or something stupid, like the way they name like the in between patches. Released last Tuesday. Yeah, so I wouldn't have talked about this before. Which added like brand new area to sort of like the Bojan Southern Front, which is an area I'm not a fan of. It's kind of like a throwback to Eureka and all that. Like, I've talked about it before. Everything's overpowered. You're weak as hell. You've got to grind and grind and grind up levels, but the way you do it is so boring and tedious. And then if you get knocked unconscious, you de-level, lose XP or metal and all of that. It's just not fun. So I avoided that with pretty much everyone else in our FC to do the relic weapons. So they basically listened to the feedback from the previous expansion, where everyone was forced into Eureka to do their relic weapons, and I believe such a small amount of people actually bothered with them because not many people actually like that content, that people just weren't doing the stuff they'd added to the game. So they straight away said, right, we've listened to the feedback, we're going to give people 2 options to do their relics this time around. And I was like, great, because I absolutely loved doing the relic back in the day. I mean, if you listen to some of the things, like I used to grind for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours just to get certain crystal drops to get your relic, because it was something to work forward to, and it was almost like a real accomplishment when you actually got it. Now, for the next step of this relic, they're forcing you to go into that Bojan Southern Front and pretty much finish the story there before you can continue on with your relic. So myself and a ton of other people have said, no, I'm just not going to bother, because I don't see why I should be forced to do unenjoyable content for hours on end just to be able to continue grinding out my relic, when you said you were going to give us 2 options to do it and you weren't going to force us in here. Now, a lot of people have got a theory as to why they're forcing people in there. It's because there's a certain point in the storyline, if you're running that, where you need to do like a 24 or 48 player instance fight. And there aren't enough people in the zones that are queuing and doing the fight, so people can't actually complete it. Maybe if they made the content fun and enjoyable, more people would be in there doing it, eh? That's just a thought.
Best MMO ever, mate. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's always given like a ton of optional content, but a lot of some of these experimental contents they add, like I was saying to someone in the free company, after a while they die.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you'll just get said fans of that content, and they will just hammer it out, get everything they can get from it, and they never want to do it again because they're either burnt out on it or they didn't really enjoy it as much as they say they did, or there's nothing for them to get. So why would they go back in there? And all the people that don't like that content aren't going to go in there and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with kind of dead content. Like
Well, I don't bother
content
doing
that just
half of this
dies
content
off.
anyway. I just do like the main
Yeah.
story stuff and dailies if I can be asked, and that's about it. That's all I play it for. I can't be fucked with all the other crap.
But yeah, you've got a ton of stuff in the game that people still run. Like people run dungeons, people run raids, people run alliance content, all this kind of stuff. People run over and over and over because it's generally fun and enjoyable, and it adheres to the normal rules of the game. Whereas like Eureka in this other area, the gameplay is different, which is a complete throwback to old MMOs that don't really get made anymore because we've moved past that point, and I don't think people are going to want to put up with that kind of crap in a modern game.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly. So yeah, so I think they're trying to force people to go back in there to complete the relic so other people can get through and complete the story and all this other stuff that they've stuck in there. And it kind of annoys me to a certain aspect in the fact that we used to get like 2 or 3 dungeons per patch. If you go back to the early sort of like versions of like the early 2.0s and into the early 3.0s of the game, you used to at least get 2 or 3 dungeons per patch to run. And you're generally running dungeons daily to grind out your weekly currency for your gear, because that's what you generally do in an MMO, and the dungeons are usually the quickest ways of doing that. You only need to do four roulettes, EX roulettes a week, and you've got your weekly quota basically. And they've cut down, and they only give you 1 dungeon a patch, like major patch, and instead of like giving you the extra dungeons, they make this crap, which is just timed and just dies out. Like I get the devs are trying different things and stuff, and like I want most of the stuff they make to be good and to succeed and do well, but a lot of it just kind of falls flat and ends up dead, and then a lot of us lose content that we would be running. I mean, you'll get people that be like, oh, dungeons, and it's just dungeons and that. And it's be like, all right, then, you run the same fucking 1 or 2 dungeons for 6 months of the year. Like, with no deviation, because it's usually EX Roulette. You get 1 dungeon from the previous patch that's in there and the new one. And then when the next dungeon gets released, the older one gets rotated out. And then you get the one from the previous patch and the new one, and you just run them over, and you just like for 6+ months, and it's kind of annoying.
I know what you mean,
Yeah,
mate.
sorry. Yeah, it's just a pain in the arse. So hopefully they learn from this or fix it or do something, because, like I was saying again to someone in the FC, because he was like, "Oh, what about being able to do the old relic from the last expansion?" I went, "It's practically impossible to do now, because you go into that area, Eureka, you need to do certain things in those zones with a certain amount of players to spawn certain enemies that will give you the drops you need to finish the relic. There aren't enough people running those areas or doing the things to spawn the monster for the drops. So you can't finish what you start." It's kind of strange, and the devs haven't looked at that yet and addressed it, because I know a developer generally doesn't want to leave content out to just die off. They will usually go and rejig it and make it accessible. Like, oh, we've dropped all the levels in there, we'll take that requirement out, we'll remove that. So fingers crossed, I'm hoping they remove this silly little gate where you need to finish the story of the area to continue the relic, because a lot of people don't honestly care about the story and stuff, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense in the lore. If you think of what your character is capable of and what they've done into the game, and then you go into this little area and you get chased across the map by like a shellfish that's beating the living shit out of you, it makes no sense in any way for the game. There's not even any sort of storyline of like, oh, there's a mist here that saps players' strength and abilities and stuff like that. No, for some reason you're just crap.
All right,
And
Darren,
we'll never give you a reason for it. Yeah.
can we move on to another game now?
Yeah, sorry. It started off again. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Valhalla. Still plugging away at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I have finished another few regions in that now.
How you getting on with it? You still
finished...
enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it. I'm now like mastery level 12 or 13, I think it is. Or something like that. So it's like you hit gear score 400, and then every level after that, you'll earn like a mastery point, which you can then put into either the skill tree for the wolf, bear, or raven, which will upgrade all stats related to like either obviously attack, range, or stealth kind of a thing.
Okay, cool.
So I went in there, I beat the crap out of some big bear in one area, and that fight gave me some absolute shit for a little while. Like it was proper touch and go a couple of times during that fight. And then when I come out of that, I was like, bloody hell. And then I sort of like, who was that anyway? And looked it up. And straight away it was like, be warned, this is the toughest fight in the game. And I was like, oh, fair enough.
How many hours have you done now, Darren?
175.
Chuffing now.
Yeah, man, that's insane.
I think it is. So yeah, I've got 4 areas to go, and I have to go back one more time to a previous area that's kind of not related to England without spoiling it.
I don't know how you managed to pour in so many hours, man.
Continuation now.
Just
I'm running around and doing all of the different things in the zones.
Yeah, crazy.
Sort of a thing. So that's why I've like managed to level up so high and everything. So all of my equipment now is Terry's. Terry's all gold. So I've got all that.
Nice.
So I'm enjoying it. I'm running into quite a few glitches at times though, here and there. So ever since one of the last patches, some of the cutscenes go ventriloquism, like the characters' mouths don't move when they're talking, which is kind of annoying because the cutscenes in the game are done pretty well.
Yeah.
There's also a cave that whenever I go in through the cave, it acts as though I'm underwater, and I can't get back out the cave. I can't swim up or down because I'm not actually underwater, so I have to reload my save.
I'm
but that'll
still
get
looking to
patched
get
out.
this.
Yeah, it is a great game, but you can get burnt out on it after a while, and it still suffers from the one of the main things I hated with Odyssey, and I don't know whether it's just an Xbox thing or what. But you know when you like used to sit there and it'd like you push A to start the game and it says checking for content, please wait. Because obviously it's got a lot of income like DLC and stuff like that. You can be sat there fucking ages waiting. Like I sat there earlier on the Series X. Obviously I'm playing this new one, and it was doing that for 3 minutes, and I was like, right, it's obviously not loading. Turned it off. Dashboarded it. Went back in. And it was still doing the same thing again, like sat there for like minutes. I was like, right, fuck off then. I won't play you. If you don't want me to play the game, just tell me. And it's only doing it because it's trying to sit through and scan for something. And also, the game has an issue with the Xbox Quick Resume, which I don't use. I don't care about Quick Resume because I don't flit around my games. So there's a bug with Assassin's Creed whereby you'll occasionally go to your skill trees and you will see 3 new skills on the skill trees that shouldn't be on there. I know one of them is if you hold down RB after doing an assassination, you pick up the body. And I can't remember what some of the others are. Even if you don't spec into those, it still throws your game out. Completely out of sync to the point where when you level up, you will only earn 1 skill point instead of 2. If you level up via stuff in some of the other realms where you'd get like 5 skill points, you only get 2 or 3 because the game's thinking that something else is going on. And to get around that, you have to turn the game off, come out of the game, shut your console down, turn it off at the plug for about 2 or 3 minutes to completely like empty the brain of the poxy thing. Because if you just come out the game and go back in, it quick resume, and it just carries on thinking that it's still afflicted with whatever that bug is. If you spec into one of those points as well that shouldn't actually be there, you'll end up getting that point refunded to you. Whether or not that was, whether or not that was something that was actually in there from the start that they've removed, I don't know, or whether that's something that's coming in for future DLC, we'll have to find out down the line.
Cool beans.
Apart from that, Fortnite, still playing that with my mate. Cyberpunk, I stuck that back on again. It was today.
First time in a while, right?
Yeah, in about a month, actually.
Wow.
To be honest, the bug that I ran into still hasn't been fixed on that, so I've ended up just leaving that crime in progress because it doesn't clear that you've finished it when you do finish it. So I'll just go back to that at some later point in the game. So I've just been carrying on with some of the other side missions and stuff. It's still a fantastic game, and it's really easy to pick up and get back into again as soon as you're sort of into it. But it is a bit annoying when you run into those sort of weird little sort of bugs. Like it's hard to say. Like you'll pick something up off of a side, and everything on the side just explodes and goes flying all over the place. A bit like, do you remember Oblivion, where you'd like pick up a coffee cup on the table, and then all of a sudden everything else on the table just flies everywhere for no reason at all?
Bizarre.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Or you'll walk past like a load of cardboard boxes, and then all of a sudden they just explode and collapse, and you're just like, I haven't touched shit. What are you doing? So thankfully, they're the only real sort of bugs I've run into. Is that dodgy glitch mission? I haven't had anyone T-posing or cars somersaulting through the air or characters falling through the earth or being shot up into the sky. Sort of a thing. I've been catapulted into the sky in Valhalla before, though. That was kind of bizarre. Yeah. Always strange when those bugs hit. Yeah, apart from that, I'm finally done, so everyone can breathe a sigh of relief.
Cheers for that, Darren. The Final Fantasy bit went on a bit longer than we expected, but everything else was fine.
Oh, well, just getting a few things off my chest, mate. You know what I mean? It's like one of my favourite games, so
no,
I have to vent a little bit of frustration here and there. I know people hate it, but
I love it. It's all good.
I got it all out of the way so people don't have to listen to it the next time I'm on.
Fair enough. Right, I've been playing a few games this week myself. I've been playing a little bit of a lot. So my main game, I'm just going to get straight into it. The Medium. Now, this is a Xbox Series S and X exclusive, also on PC, which is where I'm playing it. I've not finished it yet, but apparently the game's quite short, less than 8 hours long. I've had a look on a walkthrough because I've needed a walkthrough for some parts of it, and
Nubenstein.
I'm over halfway already, and I feel like I've not really been playing it for very long at all.
Oh.
I don't think it's that great, to be honest. I mean, it's good, but it's not like a system seller or anything like that. You know, if I hadn't, excuse me, if I hadn't managed to get hold of a Series X yet, and I didn't have a PC to play it on, I wouldn't really be too worried, Peebs. It's one of those games. It's kind of like I'd say like a double A game, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but some of the puzzles are just so dumb. Like I found I've needed a walkthrough just to figure out some really silly stuff in the game, and there isn't any combat or anything. It's puzzles, and there's some scenes where you get chased by this really horrible monster.
Run away!
Yeah, so you get some really horrible chase scenes, which had my heart pumping a few times. The whole aspect of the game, though, is, you know, the thing that is very decent about it, I will say, is the dual world. So your character lives between the real world and the spirit world. So there's a spirit world version of her, and you chop and change between the two worlds. And there's certain sections where where the game goes into a split screen, and you can interact with stuff in both worlds at the same time. And a lot of the puzzles revolve a lot later in the game. You hit these mirrors where you traverse between the worlds. So it's the same area, but the areas obviously look different between the different worlds. So a lot of the puzzles revolve around traversing between the real world and the spirit world, and doing some certain aspects of puzzle solving there. It does hit. At the beginning of the game there is some warnings. Now I have actually just yesterday I was playing it, and I did hit a section which was a bit, you know, quite sad, because there's within the game there's a child, like a ghost child, and basically one of the things with your character can send their spirits from kind of limbo off to, you know, heaven or whatever. And there's some certain aspects where there's this really mean kind of ghost, and there's a child that's scared of the ghost, and you find out why later, and that's quite, you know, sad, or very sad, to be honest. And, you know, if you've got kids, it makes you think twice and all that sort of stuff. So it does hit upon, you know, some quite poignant things, which is quite good in a way. You know, it's very mature in that aspect. But yeah, I am enjoying it. But as I say, it feels like, so sometimes I'm playing it, I'm just like, I'm not super engaged with it, if that makes sense. Like, I've been playing it recently just thinking, oh, when is this going to end? And you don't want to be like that with a video game. You want to be like, oh, you know, immersed into it and wanting to play. So I've not been playing it loads, even though it has been my main game. I've been playing it for like half an hour or so, and then just putting it down and playing something else. But
is that because it's kind of grim?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I
it's
generally
grim
don't like playing
slow.
grim stuff for too long, because it does kind of bring you down a little bit. Like,
yeah, I think you're
Fallout
right there,
could
Darren.
even be depressing for after a while, or Last of Us and things like that.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. Yeah, and Hogarth is asking. Yes, it has got the ray tracing. It looks nice. Yeah, so I mean, it's a decent game. So if you've got a next gen system or a half decent PC, then check it out. If not, it can wait.
Looks a bit clunky.
It is. So one thing about it is it's like the old school Resident Evil games where it's fixed camera angles. So you can't use your right thumbstick to look around the environments at all. It's pure fixed camera angles, and you do get used to it, but it's a very old school design. But I have found myself getting a bit lost at times because of those camera angles, and it can make some of the chase scenes a little bit frustrating as well. But you know, it's I think it's a budget game made by a very small studio. They've come out on social media and said that they've made all their money back on the game already.
Oh, that's good.
You know, so that's good. I mean, it's a good win for Game Pass to get games like this. It's something a bit different. It's, as I say, it's not meant to be very long. But one thing I do wish is that Microsoft would actually pump out some proper decent exclusives that are kind of that compete with the Sony exclusives, because that's something that the Xbox system is really missing.
Lacking. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it is weird the whole game length thing where people say, "Oh, it's not very long" and stuff, and people hold that sort of against the game. But then you have a game like we
Yeah.
mentioned last week or the week before, Edith Finch. You can finish that in 2 hours.
Yeah, I rinsed that in a couple of hours. Yeah,
and it's like a really highly praised game.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that the medium is short. I'm just saying it is. You know, I don't mind 6 to 8 hour games. I think that's quite a good length, especially if it's part of a Game Pass subscription. You know, it's not costing you anything really. If you think about, you're not paying for the game, are you? So
Yeah, well, the older Resident Evils and Silent Hills and stuff, if you look at them now, they're not very long games either.
yeah, true. So yeah, that's been my main game. So I've not been gaming much because obviously I've not been very well. So I've been watching a lot of TV this week. So I'm just going to briefly mention a few other games. So actually, I do have a main. Well, I lied about the medium being my main game this week because you know when you're feeling not well and you just want to play something and not thinking about it. I've been
Yeah.
playing loads of Rocket League this week, and I mean
Next.
shit loads of Rocket League, and I just want to praise Rocket League a little bit because this is how a game should be. It's completely cross-play, and I've been playing it on the PC, my Xbox, and my Switch, and I've got my Epic account linked on all the platforms. And I've been like stopped playing it on the PC and went straight into my Xbox, and it's just it knows where I am straight away, like how many games I've played and all my stats and everything like that. Turn it off the Xbox, go onto the Switch, and again, you know, it's carried on. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, I think it's really cool. And you know, when you add people to your Epic friends list as well, you know, it's complete cross-play, playing with your friends across all the platforms as well, which is really nice. So I had a few games with Captain Kirk last night, and we had some fun on that. So yeah, it's been great because with obviously you know what it's like with little kids. You know, if you can't play on the TV, but you don't want to move, you know, I've just been picking up the Switch and playing Rocket League handheld mode, and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, big props to that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I just knocked out my headphones. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. A few other games. So last night I wanted to do a little bit of single player gaming, and I actually started a new game, a new old game, Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 12.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I'm only briefly going to mention this because when it came out back in the day, right? I hated this game because I used to play a lot of Final Fantasy 11, which is the MMO, and Final Fantasy 12 picks up a lot of the MMO sensibilities. You know, it feels like a single player MMO at times. You know, you start off in the starting city, and then you go off into the wilderness, and it's like, oh, kill some monsters. And when you even when you go out to the open world, it feels like very MMO-y, and even with the combat as well. So I just wanted to say I'm going to carry on playing Final Fantasy 12 because I'm really getting into the story now. But it does feel like an MMO. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go on about it.
I think a lot of people agree with that sentiment, to be honest.
Yeah. But the story so far seems pretty cool. So yeah. Okay. Few more games then. I'm actually not going to mention a few games because I talk about them every fucking week. So PlayStation Plus this month, Concrete Genie appeared on PlayStation Plus,
Oh, nice.
and I've been wanting to play this for ages, and I never bought it. And I know Stunty bangs on about it a lot, so I picked up on PS Plus obviously, and I started playing it. And this game is really good. I've only played it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it's beautiful. The first thing that it just stands out, like the art style is just gorgeous. And so it starts off
Well,
with all
the
this.
world itself is so drab and dreary, and
Yeah.
then you just bring life to it with these like neon, glowy sort of works of art.
Have you finished this, Darren?
I haven't finished it, but
Have you
I
played it
got a
up?
good way of the way through the game. It ended
Oh,
up being one of those ones that I've just forgotten about and haven't gone
yeah.
back to. But it's
There's
a
only one.
really good feel-good game.
Yeah, there's only one downside to this game for me. It's the motion controls. I fucking
Right, when
hate
you're
using
doing the...
Yeah, when you're doing the painting, you have to physically move the controller around. I fucking hate that in games. Like, give me an option to just move the thumbstick. I'm a real gamer. I want to move the
Is that
thumbstick.
not in there? I can't remember if that's just in there.
I don't know. It's just. I need to look at the options then if I can change it. I haven't.
Yeah, oh yeah, always check it just in case.
But I'm quite liking the story so far because it's about this kid who has this little art book and he draws all these funky monster characters, but he's being bullied by this group of kids and they tear up his book and the pages go flying off and they stick you in this tram thing and you get sent off and then the you see the pages are floating around and it becomes a little bit magical, like his little monsters are coming to life in the pages and then the pages of those monsters go back into the book as you progress through the game. But
It's a
but
PlayStation
overall,
exclusive.
yeah, it is PlayStation exclusive, and it feels like I spoke to Stuntney about it, and it's basically a game about bullying, and how it affects kids and all that sort of stuff. So it has quite a deep story to it. But from the little I've played so far, I just like the premise of, you're drawing this really awesome art on the walls and there's like this evil purple crap which you're trying to get rid of, so you need to light up light bulbs around the town by doing this magical art. And yeah, this is a game I'm going to carry on playing. It's really really good, and I'm glad it's come to PlayStation Plus, to be honest. So for those of you that have PS Plus, check it out. It's good. It's a
Yeah,
good
it's
game.
also got a VR mode, which I haven't actually tried out myself
Oh,
yet.
well, there you go. Someone else.
I think it is a separate little mode. It's not the actual game itself in VR. It's just like a separate painting mode, I think, where you can do stuff in obviously a virtual area with move controllers
Nice.
or something.
Nice. Yeah, I just think it just has that like it's something that only PlayStation seems to do. Is just these really nice art styles of games. It's just something you don't see on Xbox for some strange reason. Just this.
Well, you do. This just depends on the developers. Like PC even has its own like really well artistically done indie games.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
They are around on everything. Like even like obviously what was that one that was originally out on Switch? Was it like Gris or something?
Yeah.
Like that had a really nice art
Yes.
style to it. And a really mellow soundtrack as well.
Yeah, so Concrete Genie gives a thumbs up from Webby. Okay. Last game then. I told you I'd be quick this week because I'm not gonna. I picked up a new game today.
Really?
On PC. Sorry, it's PC only. I really hope this comes to consoles because it is absolutely brilliant. It's a little game called Valheim.
Hang on a second. Is this the what do you call it? The survival game that's just recently come out with like
Yes.
massively positive reviews. And
Yes.
I watched the video on it, and personally, I will say just quickly, it doesn't look all that. But from the experience people have had playing the game, it sounds like incredibly fun with a group of people.
Yeah. So a few
Go
guys
ahead.
on the Discord group have also picked this up now as well. So I'm hoping we can get a server going. But I've been playing it single player today, and it's basically set on Viking lore, really into this Viking theme at the minute. I'm watching Vikings. I'm on the final season. Loved AC Valhalla, and now there's this game called Valheim. So it's it's very Minecrafty, to be honest. It's got that kind of vibe in the graphics, but it's, you start off as this Viking, and you get dropped off on this island by this bird. So there is actually a premise that you're in like kind of Viking limbo, and you got to appease the gods by surviving on this area, and it's all procedurally generated. And then there's bosses, um, that you have to defeat, but obviously you can't go and defeat them until you've sorted your dude out, right? So the way you do that is by, well, first of all, I had to survive the first night, so it was literally, right, I need to gather some wood, build some shit, but then I need to build an axe. So you have to gather like stone and wood to build an axe and chop down more trees, and then you build a workbench. Very much like Minecraft, and it's like, right, you need to build a hut, and then you build a bed, and then you build in like a bonfire, and then you can cook food, and there's all these crazy monsters that you can fight and all that as well. It's very it's proper survival, but like the graphics do look very simple at a glance. You look at these graphics, it looks very Minecraft, but when you're actually playing it, it's like Minecraft, where the lighting is very beautiful. It all kind of adds up. So yeah, I mean, I just spent a lot of time playing it today, just chopping down trees, fighting some bloody goblins or whatever, and I made a little hut. I was very proud of my hut, actually. So I built my first hut, was really shit, and then I got a hoe so I could make the ground level, right? And then I could put floorboards down, and then like build a nice flat floor. Then I built the walls and a door, and I made a nice thatched roof, and then I put my bed into that one, and man, it's just something simple. It's very relaxing, very much like Minecraft, but it's just it has like, but because it's procedurally generated, the maps are different, but they're massive, and the fact that there's kind of a story to it, where you think, right, I can get to a point where I can go and fight this boss, right, and then I can upgrade my dude more. It's just really, it's just something interesting about it. And you can play it multiplayer, but I've not actually joined a multiplayer server. I've not made a
I
character in
think
multiplayer
it's servers of up to 10 people.
Yes, that's correct. That's great. But the thing that drew me to it, there was a couple of things. One was like all the reviews on Steam are positive. People are raving about it. Two, it's cheap. It's 15 quid. And three, it's just because it's got that Viking lore to it. It's just thought, oh man, I've just got to give this a go. Because the good thing with Steam is you can refund a game within an hour. If you played it for less than an hour, and you've had it for less than 2 weeks, you can refund it. So I thought, well, if I don't like it, I'll just fucking refund it. But I was hooked on it today. I've installed it on my laptop as well, so I was playing it downstairs while the kids are watching TV as well. So it's had me hooked straight away. So if anyone in the community has got this, and I see a few people in the Twitch chat have said that they've got it, let's set up a server and do some co-op Viking surviving, because I have seen some videos where you can build a longboat and go adventuring and all that sort of stuff. It just seems really, really cool. So,
well, the other thing about the game is apparently there's like multiple areas, like multiple kind of maps and big places you can go to, because obviously there is an end thing you've got to do in each area, which is like defeat a boss.
Yes.
And
yeah,
then
so
I think when you defeat that boss, you then move to another area.
Oh no! So I've got one boss on my map now, the first boss, but I want to build up my dude to be able to fight it first. I've watched a YouTube
because
review
you apparently you go up through different ages of like weaponry and stuff. Like it's quite in depth, and the game is apparently as well sort of procedurally generated in the fact that it's not particularly scripted events.
Yeah.
So just random things are happening like all the time. Whereas like one bloke said like, yeah, we parked our boat off over here, and then by the time we got back to it, there was some massive troll beating the shit out of it, and like we pilfered it from our mate who just finished building it, and he weren't going to be very happy that we've got his boat wrecked.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so it's one of those games. I really hope it comes to consoles because I think the more people that can experience this, the better.
I could see Xbox grabbing this.
Yeah,
if
it's
any.
I've only dabbled in it today a couple of hours, but those couple of hours I've really enjoyed. So I can see myself playing this a lot more, especially if we can get a server going with a few friends. That'd be a lot of fun. So watch this space for Valheim. Cool. That's all I've been playing this week, guys, and my voice is nearing its end, I think. So
Oh dear.
I'm gonna just check the questions. I don't think there's been many, if any at all. And then
Well, I see a question. Someone asked about a good survival game. Well, you've sort of answered that question
on the
there, haven't you?
Discord chat,
Yeah.
yeah. But on Xbox, what's the one? Is Arcs on Xbox, isn't it? That's a survival game. That question's from Mellafella.
What was it?
Yeah, yeah.
I think he might have had an Arc actually.
Is that the dinosaur game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I've seen it on there, but I've never tried it.
AJ says PGA Tour 2K is amazing. Yeah, I do like golf games. To be honest. I'll tell you what. Oh, I'll tell you what other game I did play this week, and I forgot to mention was I've been playing 51 worldwide games on the Switch, and there's a little fishing game on there. There's a little fishing game on there, and I thought, oh, I'm in the mood for some fishing now. So I downloaded a fishing game on PC called Fishing Planet. Oh my god, it's free to play. I was bored of it within fucking 10 minutes and deleted it. So
I think that's on consoles as well, Fishing Planet.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's too simmy. I was just like, oh, can't be fucked with this shit.
Well, yeah, but people are going to want those simmy fishing games. There's a lot of people who like fishing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I wanted a decent fishing game on the Switch because I think the Joy-Cons work really well as a fishing rod, but there doesn't seem to be anything decent. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Ark's meant to be decent. People talking about Ark in the Twitch chat. Yeah, Ark's a good survival game.
Apparently, it's easy achievements.
Yeah. Clarky mentions the Cyberpunk hack, but we've already mentioned that. I think that's it. I think we're done, guys.
Jolly good.
I think I need to go to bed.
Yeah, gone on longer than I thought again.
13-year anniversary special.
It was an hour just for your Final Fantasy
Yeah,
talk.
I do apologise for that. I did go off in the You know, sometimes when you forget you're recording a podcast and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not ranting at someone in game chat. I'm on a podcast. Sorry, yeah. So.
Yeah. So I've already got a couple of people in the Twitch chat that are up for some Valheim, so that's good. Get on that tomorrow. Oh, good times. I feel that multiplayer mojo coming back. If anyone's up for some Rocket League as well, loving it at the minute. It's all good. Peebs, play some Rocket League with me.
I deleted it. I mean, I can download it again, but I just found it quite hard.
For a football fan, that's quite mad.
It is hard.
Well, yeah, because I thought I should like it really, but I don't know. I just found it very difficult.
It takes a while to learn, but I mean, I'm still shit at it now, but I still have fun with it. Kirk put me to shame last night with his flying his car around the bloody pitch and scoring goals. I'm just driving around, just missing the ball all the time.
Yeah, because there is a lot of DLC for that, isn't there?
Yeah, like different cars.
Yeah.
The one I use is a DeLorean. I don't even know if you can buy that anymore. So, Hogarth's asking when we're doing a Battlefield 4 night. So, I briefly mentioned, I think Clarky's been playing Battlefield 4 a little bit on the Xbox. I actually re-downloaded Battlefield 4 on the Xbox yesterday, I think, and played it for about half an hour, and really impressed that it's still, one, there's still loads of active servers, and two, it still looks and runs really, really well. So yeah, we should do a Battlefield 4 night on the old Xbox at some point as well. That'd be good fun. So
Yeah, I bet that's quite a big download, though, isn't it?
oh, I can't remember. Mate. Probably about
Well,
30, 40
Battlefield
gig.
4, I think
Yeah.
it's quite hefty. There's been
Yeah.
quite a few like content packs for that one.
Yeah.
Same with Battlefield 1. I think there's been like 3 or 4 expansion things with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good game though, man. Hogarth and Clark are up for it. We'll organise that on the Discord game on the old gamer night room. We'll sort that out. Cool. If I'm not on Valheim tomorrow, we'll do some Battlefield. Yeah, cool. Right, anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, no, I'm good, man.
Do you know what's really, really weird? I've noticed midweek, more people stay on to the end of the podcast on Twitch than on a Sunday.
Well, because it's not running into like 11 o'clock on a Sunday, is it?
Yeah, I know.
Or even 12 o'clock at times.
Yeah, true. Very true. We're still going to be doing a show on Sunday as well. That's a Patreon episode. So if you want to listen to it for free, hit up the Twitch on Sunday. HDoob, you can listen to the show anyway. It'll be uploaded tomorrow morning. So don't worry about it that you missed the beginning. Yeah, anything else you guys want to add?
Well, I'm trying to get my Twitch. I'm on 92 followers, so
Well,
if anyone doesn't
pimp out
follow
your
me,
Twitch channel, Peebs. Pimp it out.
I'll pimp it out. Like I say, I've got 92. I'm trying to get up to 100. I do plan on putting some more stuff on there. Like I said last week, I played a bit of UFC. I've bought a camera, which I can plug into my Xbox. I'm fiddling around with that at the minute, trying to get that. I've got it working, but I found there's a lot of lag, as in like when I'm talking and then watch it on the Twitch. It's like a good 20 seconds behind. I don't know if that's normal or what, so I just need to fiddle around.
Streaming is quite extensive. I think like a lot of sort of PC streamers and stuff used to just stream in like standard resolutions, like
Peebs, people asking for
frame rate and stuff.
Oh, people asking for your
Playboy
Twitch
Peebs. Playboy Peebs.
I've got up on the screen as well for people.
Oh, good. Yeah. You see my UFC knockout on there. I highlighted that's on there. But yeah, I'm gonna probably stream a bit of Spider-Man, Miles Morales, or Division 2 this week. So I'm off work for 6 days now, so I might put a bit of time and effort into it. But yeah, like I said in the past, to get fully into it, I need a PC really with a capture card and stuff. And I think capture cards are still quite hard to get hold of because I think everyone's during lockdown's been trying to do it.
Yeah, with lockdown, all these things have become a lot more popular as well, haven't they? So
yeah. But yeah, something I'd like to get into. But yeah, like I want a games room. I need a desk and a PC just to do it all properly until the kids
can't
move
imagine
out,
Peebs with a PC joining the Master Race, Peebs.
No, I still like the consoles. Well, I would like one just because I've got an Apple Mac, but it's a laptop, and I just don't. I have got Steam on there, but I don't think you just get the games on there, do you?
Well, Macs aren't built for gaming, mate.
No, that's the trouble. That's the thing. I've got £1,000 Mac, and all I do is surf the internet on it. I just don't use it for anything else.
You could do that with your phone.
Wasted. Yeah, pretty much. Just wasted, really.
So there's like so many devices we have nowadays that all do the same bloody thing to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Is that the end then? Are we done?
Yeah.
Cool. So anyway, thank you everyone for coming on. It's been awesome. So from me, Mark Webb, Gamer Tag, Pistol D, Steam ID, Webby, 360G.
A resident trophy whore, Pretty Boy Peebs.
Say switch.
Cool, so thank you very much. Don't forget we'll be recording again Sunday, 8:30 PM, live on Twitch. Be there or be square. Next week is the Patreon show, so a big shout out to my 18 patrons. I have lost
Bloody
one
hell.
actually in the past week, so I'm a little bit sad about that. But life goes on. So if you want to join and support the show, the website is patreon.com/360gamercast, and there you will get a show every single week of the year. There you go. What could be better than that?
Yeah.
Cool. So thank you very much. We will see you next week. Goodbye.